what what I particularly love about the thumbnail of this one was the way that you look and the way you're sitting. You look like a character who's about to get shot in this film. You look
We're
like
sitting in a car, which means we're about to get shot in this film. Everyone in this movie who gets in a car gets fucking shot.
You're gonna get shot or you're gonna get motherfucking blown up. Okay, before we get to Sicario, Day of the Soldado, which, boy, autocorrect on putting the on putting the title on this video was really giving me some shit when I was typing it in. It is not sitting there.
Soledad.
It is not called Day of the Soledad O'Brien. God damn it, autocorrect. Beforehand. We got to pimp out our Indiegogo again. We're doing fundraising right now for the sequel to the Cinema Snob movie. So if you want to find out more information about that, I put up a video early today where I'm giving more information about it. Plus, you can go to the Indiegogo page. Just click on the link in the description of this video on the website as well, and follow me on Twitter at the Cinema Snob. I'm always putting updates about it. So check that out. I believe it's got about 40 days or so, 40 days left on it. So
it's got time left. And we would very much like to make this movie.
We would.
And quite frankly, if you were ever curious what the Cinema Snob movie would have been like if we had had the budget for Jesus, bro.
I said the same thing when I did the video earlier today.
Yeah. Like if we hired the people we needed to hire to make the Cinema Snob movie like we did for Jesus, bro. Well, this is what that movie would kind of be. Yeah.
I said that's what I was talking about in the video earlier on today. So,
and keep in mind,
someone paid dollars to tell us the Taco Bell dog was a girl on Super Chat. What? No shit.
We'll take it.
I learned something new every day.
But yet, and keep in mind too that part of this budget goes to paying us poor slobs that appear in it. So. I'm assuming true. I'm going to be in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the artists that do work for it. Like.
Exactly. So go check out our Indiegogo page. Click on the link to find out about that. And the second most...
Help us all feed our children.
The second... Lloyd is starving.
No, he's fucking not.
So, second most important thing... I'll be seeing Uncle Drew tomorrow.
And I was really curious why the Bryans and I weren't at that tonight.
Uncle Drew,
but yeah.
The time it's one of those. It is getting a Thursday screening, but it's one of those Thursday screenings where the timing doesn't work out. Like I think I think Uncle Drew is probably starting like right now. It's where the timing just doesn't work out to go see both movies and then review them and review this in between that. So we're checking out Uncle Drew tomorrow. But before then, we went to go see Sicario, Day of the Soldado. And the first Sicario, 2015, I think that came out.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite movies of that year.
That was a fantastic movie. And I'll fully admit, like, I haven't seen it since it first came out.
Same.
And I remember really liking it, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Oh, sure.
It's just one of those movies that, like, I remember going, oh, yeah, that was a great fucking movie. And then sitting down, getting ready to watch this, I'm like, oh shit.
The beautiful thing about this movie, though, and Sicario was one of my favorite movies of that year, like I said. So I certainly remember enough about it to go into this sequel.
And some of the characters are back.
Josh Brolin, Benicio del Toro. The beautiful thing about it is that if you saw the first one and you really loved it, but maybe it's been a while, maybe you don't remember everything about it necessarily, that's fine. Going to go see
completely unimportant. This has some of the same characters, but it works perfectly and beautifully as a standalone movie.
No, it does. It does, and that really works about the film. The movie does have a different director behind it, and when I heard that they were doing a sequel to it, I was certainly looking forward to it. Taylor Sheridan's back as writer. Two of the actors are back. And I remember being surprised hearing they were doing a sequel to it because it was a movie that I never thought, like...
It's not the kind of movie that gets sequels.
Yeah. You know? Having seen this movie, though, I mean, not only am I glad that there is a sequel to it, not only am I glad that this movie exists, but beyond just being a sequel, when I was watching this, especially in getting to the conclusion of the film, I was thinking like, man, I would really actually like this to become a series.
Well, and my one complaint about this movie is at the end they set it up kind of for a sequel. Not
Sure.
Not in a way that like this is the way the story is obviously going to go, or
Right.
anything, but they left some things open, and which I like an open-ended movie. I do. And this is the kind of movie that you can have an open-ended movie and it works fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, this is also the exact kind of movie that's like, don't sequel bait me for this, man. That's so fucking unnecessary.
It wasn't like, yeah, it sets it up to where there's room for there to be another one. It sets it up to where there's room for this to keep going, for it to be this big saga. When it got to the conclusion of the film, there's enough of this story that is resolved in the movie. It isn't like it just smacks to be continued up on the screen or anything like that. There's enough that's resolved, and when it was getting to the conclusion, it was less that I was really thinking it was necessarily sequel baiting, but I mean it is, but like more so just like, oh, there's more to this story that can be told. There's something here that could lead to a saga of movies. Granted, maybe why I'm being so light necessarily on this movie's ending is because the movie that I just sat through beforehand was fucking Jurassic World. And you were talking about some bullshit sequel baiting.
But also, like I said, it's the only thing I have to complain about this movie.
Yeah.
And as everybody knows, if there's something to complain about it, I'm gonna fucking find it.
No, yeah, and I see what you're saying. I do. It wasn't a problem I had with the movie, really. But, like, we were talking about this outside the car, too. If they are going to continue to do this as, like, a series of movies, absolutely Taylor Sheridan needs to be the one who's still writing it.
If they make another one and Taylor Sheridan's not the writer, I'll watch it. But I'll go in with completely different expectations.
It'll be weird. It'll be weird.
Because, like, Taylor Sheridan, quite honestly, like, that dude is a fantastic screenwriter.
That dude's one of my favorite writers working.
Like, and I've never read any of his scripts, but I really want to, because so many of his movies have so many long, quiet stretches that I'm curious how this motherfucker writes them out. And every director gets it fucking right.
This is a guy that, between, you know, Hell or High Water, Sicario, Wind River, between all of these movies that I've seen him do, like, this is a guy that gets, I mean, evil, for one. Yeah. Evil, horrifying things that one human being will do to another human being. He's a guy who gets tension. He's a guy who gets brutality. He's a guy who gets people's reaction to that violence, to that brutality. You see it in how they scream. You see it in their face. You see it how they're reacting to everything around them. And this movie is another movie that's like that. It's intense from beginning to end. It's brutal. It's intense. It is about doing fucked up things to each other, doing fucked up things for a goal or a greater good or revenge or any of that.
The
like,
idea of a greater good.
Yeah.
Because it's not the greater good necessarily.
What this movie's about is that bombings have gone on in Kansas City, and this all kind of leads to, like, cartels that have been smuggling people across the Mexican border. So basically this hush-hush plan going on with Josh Brolin's character, sent in by the Secretary of Defense, is to create this war between the cartels, and that involves bringing in Benicio del Toro to, let's kill this gang leader, let's kill this one. And kind of the big plan here is kidnapping the daughter
of a cartel leader too, and then blaming it on another cartel. Basically, they're trying to start a war between the cartels.
They're Jimboing this shit, man.
Yeah, they really are.
That, and like, I love this scene with Brolin and Benicio del Toro because it's the same scene from Death Wish 3 where the guy says to Charles Bronson, like, yeah, it's too wild around here, man. We're just cutting you loose. He's like, you cutting me loose? Like, yeah, I'm cutting you loose. No rules this time.
Yeah.
Which is great, because Benicio del Toro is bronzoning the shit out of this movie. He is badass. There's a scene involving a car pulling up next to him with a fucking grenade.
And it's just calm. Calm.
It is calm and bloody, brutal, and just fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like, if ever you needed a movie to say, like, you don't want to shoot this person, that'll just make him mad. This, oh.
It didn't even make him mad. It just made him focused. Like, and for some reason, that's way more frightening to me than, like, shoot a guy and he gets mad. Well, of course he's mad. You shot him. But you shoot a dude and he's just like... That's when you gotta fucking run.
Oh, you done fucked up. It does, like, it certainly does, like, a similar kind of thing that I've seen in other movies where the girl is spending a lot of time with Benicio del Toro. So you have, you know, this guy who he's dark, he's brutal, he's a killer, he's seeking revenge, and then you have, like, the kid character, and you have that dynamic with him. It's a thing you've seen before. Hell, Logan. Hell, this ain't even the only Josh Brolin movie I've seen this year that kind of does that. Leon, the Professional. You've seen it, but this movie is... But
it doesn't focus on that, and it doesn't overemphasize it, and it doesn't try and dig too much into it. It lets it happen in a way that feels almost natural.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, and that relationship isn't forced.
No, it's not.
It's just there.
It's there because because it is part of this mission that is going on, and it is part of keeping this girl safe because she's in an area where she's worth quite a bit, and it's dangerous for her, and it's also dangerous for anyone who stumbles across her as well. And I like this character a lot. I like this kid character. She does a damn fucking good job in the movie. And she's got an early scene in the movie with this, like, headmaster at her school where she is also kind of badass because she, like, fucking straight up, in so many words, threatens this dude. And it's less like I'm sitting there watching it thinking, oh, this kid's a spoiled brat, and more like
this kid knows she has power.
Yeah, this kid's actually really kind of scary.
Well, it's the difference between being a brat and having a weird sense of knowledge about who she is.
Yeah.
Like, she knows who she is. She knows where she's from. She's not like the movie villain's kid who doesn't realize that their parent is evil. Like,
right.
She fucking knows.
Oh yeah, and when Benicio del Toro straight up says, like, no, I'm an enemy of your dad. Like, yeah, this character kind of gets it.
Yeah.
And doesn't really try to fight him on this or anything like that. And you're right, like, the way that they handle this relationship between the two of them in this movie, it does still feel fresh. It doesn't feel like, okay, I just saw this a year ago.
It's not the retread I've seen every other time.
No.
There's a kid and a killer together, or a kid and their kidnapper, or
and then suddenly they spawn like they're best friends now and things like that.
You know, I do wish he had stolen her Casper the Friendly Ghost costume and taken her trick or treat.
Oh yeah.
But you know, not every movie can do that.
Yeah, not every movie has Kevin Costner as the kidnapper. That's a great fucking movie, by the way. Watch A Perfect World sometime. That's really, really fucking good. I gotta say, like, of the 2018 Josh Brolin trilogy, this one's my favorite.
I do think this one is the best standalone movie. I loved Infinity War, but
no, me too.
Infinity War, its lasting power is going to be solely dependent on the next one.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think we talked about that a little bit in the review for that. Like, that movie is going to depend on the next one so much that it wasn't it's a fine movie, but it is what it is, and it so much depends on that next one pulling off whatever it's going to try and pull off.
Yeah.
Like, this stands on its own. It's done. It's good.
Yeah, it makes just little things just scary. Whether it's like just driving down the road, like really dark in the highway, walking into a grocery store, watching satellite footage of like an assassination, or even like just driving through dust on a dirt road.
Yeah.
Like it just makes it intense and just unsettling. I dug it. I really dug this fucking movie.
What I think this movie did a really good job of doing, which some filmmakers just either they're incapable of doing or they don't quite get it, and they try doing it through like music cues or something like this.
Sure.
This movie did a fine job of using the actors and the camera work and light, quiet moments to get that feeling of unease and not being safe
And evil.
yeah, and it did a good job of finding those weird emotions that are hard for people to convey in film and making it come across very subtly.
No, I totally agree, and that's what I've loved. That's one thing that I've loved the most about like every movie I've seen that he's written, especially Hell or High Water.
Well, and I think it's like looking at what the reviews are for this movie. I think it's disappointing that it's being reviewed against the first one so much. I think that's why its ratings are only in the 60s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I don't know, but like I haven't seen what a lot of reviews are for this movie necessarily, but like I mean, I just saw the movie, so it's hard for me to think that. I mean, look, no, this one probably won't. If this makes my top 10 at the end of the year, it won't be as high as the first one was necessarily, and I probably did like the first one more than this movie, but this is still a really fucking good movie.
Yeah, no,
like
absolutely. The first one, it's when they do movies, like sequels to movies like this, where the first one had a huge impact for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have that impact again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But again, like the director of this movie, he's directed episodes of a show called Gomorrah, and I've not really seen much of what he's done, but he captures the total fucking bleakness of the first movie. He does. Like it feels like a worthy sequel to the first movie.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have his career just like fucking bolt out of nowhere like
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. But it's not a weird new fresh voice. He did a fine job. The guy who directed this movie did a fine job of directing it, but also he had an expectation set before him and a style that he had to somewhat follow.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's following the style of the previous director. But I highly recommend the movie. I had a good time watching this. It was intense. It was suspenseful. Very well acted. Yeah. Well made. Well written. I dug it. So I totally recommend this movie.
Yeah. No, me too. And besides the big leads too, you get like lots of fun little appearances by character actors you just see in different shit for years.
Oh, yeah, Catherine Keener's in this. Matthew Modine is in this.
I'm loving the fucking resurgency of Matthew Modine.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I liked Stranger Things. I thought it was a fine show, but the best thing that show has done is brought Matthew Modine back.
Yeah, dude. Like intimidating Matthew Modine. Yeah.
It's like he found his niche as an actor where it's like,
I'm going to be the guy who you're not going to trust.
Yeah, no, and that's great because I think his career was lost for a while because nobody knew what to do with him. Because they're like, well, he was a leading man, but he wasn't like dashing or overly heroic. He's just a guy. Yeah. And now they found a fucking place for him, and it's like, oh yeah, like this motherfucker's going to chew some shit up. It's gonna be great.
No, I agree. I do dig it when he pops up in something because he's always just he always plays a character nowadays like back in the 80s William Atherton would be playing.
No, and that's fucking great because we need actors like that.
We do.
Really do.
We need more Athertons.
Yeah, like we need actors where like you know, it's great to have have actors with a lot of range out there that do great things, but sometimes you need William Matherson's, you need Michael Ironsides.
Oh,
Like
hell yeah, you do.
You sometimes just need actors that when they show up on screen, you know exactly what they're there for, exactly who they're gonna be. Like, because sometimes it just speeds things along.
Yeah,
Subconsciously, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like I need Kurtwood Smith to show up in here somewhere to tell me what's what.
Like, and it's great that we have some more of those around, and like Modine's becoming one of those guys. Like, there's more and more people finding that niche in their career lately, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang shows up, someone's gonna die. Like,
he's gonna murder a lot of people.
Exactly.
Setting him on fire in Manhunter didn't stop him. It made him way stronger and more powerful.
Yeah.
He comes back stronger than you ever could have imagined. We should talk about the commercial that we got in front of this fucking movie.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I gotta say, as much as I like Sicario, that commercial is stuck in my fucking brain.
It is mine too. We got a commercial in front of this film. Not even a trailer.
I don't know what it was for.
I kind of remember what it was for, but like, so this commercial starts in between, I don't know, before or after all the fucking M&M commercials we always get.
Yeah, it was right before the trailer started.
So it starts out with this woman on a stair car on the runway. She's driving up to the airplane like it's the end of Liar Liar, and gets on there, and she's professing her love to her boyfriend, I guess, like, because were they split or something? Like,
I don't know, because this is where it started.
This is where it started, and we were kind of talking beforehand, and then when she got on this airplane and started giving this like powerful romance movie speech to him, I'm sitting there like, wow, the acting in this commercial is actually really good. I'm like, is this a movie? Like, did they accidentally start the wrong thing?
Nobody in it.
I felt like I was coming into like the end of like a TV movie or something like that. So then the guy gets off the plane. Like, everyone on they end up back together.
They kiss, everyone applauds.
They kiss, everyone on the plane like applauds. And then it keeps going.
And they get in a car, and I'm thinking, car commercial, okay. But no, it keeps fucking going.
It keeps going, and we're like fascinated at this point. Like, this is, I just got to see where this leads.
Because then he starts asking her questions.
Yeah.
In the car, like, how did you get on the stair car? And she goes, I don't know.
How did you get on the runway?
I don't know. And you're just sitting there like
what
the fuck is happening?
This is fascinating. What is this? We're like 5 minutes deep into this commercial. It starts
like getting darker and bluer from like the bright, sunny, like romantic
horror
comedy
movie
lighting.
music starts playing.
Yeah. And then he looks over, and she's a fucking zombie.
She's a zombie with fucking like blood and shit coming out of her mouth. She starts lunging after him like she's gonna like eat him, and he hops out of the car, and it's like now like fucking like nighttime out and shit, and he's backing away like there's fog and shit, and we're like, what is this? I am enthralled by this commercial. And what it was for like AT&T streaming, I think.
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah, because he's crawling through the woods, and he hears the twig snack, and he turns around, and it's fucking her. And it says from rom-com to horror. And you're like,
pick whatever type of movie you want, rom-com or horror. Like, okay then. What? I
want this to be a series of commercials.
Yeah,
where they do other weird shit.
Like this commercial was like, whoever created this ad campaign like needs a promotion, because like that was effective.
But see, here's the thing. I don't think I will ever forget this commercial. But 5 minutes from now, I'll forget what it was for.
I remember what it was for. Like, it was like AT&T. So I at least remember that. And like, even though, like, okay, you're saying like 5 minutes from now you won't remember what this commercial is for and everything. The fact that we're on here, like on camera right now,
talking about it more in depth than we talked about the movie.
Yeah, talking about it, leading people watching this to then go and look up the commercial and see what it's for. Like, that is effective. Like that that is an effective ad, a really effective ad. Like, what the shit? That's one of the best movies playing in theaters right now.
Yeah, well, and the fact that it started so cold and in such a weird place.
Yeah.
Like, it made you snap to attention.
So I recommend this commercial and this movie. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be at Uncle Drew at some point, so that's coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be in Chicago for the rest of the weekend.
Tomorrow I'll be at home.
Watching previews for Uncle Drew. Or Uncle, even like the commercials for Uncle Drew. I guess I didn't even know before this movie that this was a series of commercials.
Yeah, it was a Pepsi commercial from a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be at that movie tomorrow. So, all right, everyone. Thanks a bunch in the chat for watching, and check out our Indiegogo link in the
Donate
description
money.
and help us make our movie. So, see you guys.